Hello and welcome to I'll Sleep When I'm Done Talking, in which we don't sleep till Santa arrives. I'm Connor.
I'm Damon.
Christmas! It's the Christmas episode. We're doing a Christmas episode.
Christmas! Woo!
Yay! The
We made
music would the
it!
music would go here, but we don't have music for the show,
We
and
don't.
so I'm too
We'll
used
learn
to
how.
I'm too used to the keyboard's on its way. The keyboard I
Yes.
bought is on its way, so I could actually potentially make music for the show. I'm too used to queuing away to the music because every podcast I listen to does it, so I'm too used to doing it myself in my own speech. It's lovely having a
Yeah, no.
conversation with me, isn't it? I'll cue to the music, and you'll and you'll look to where I'm gesturing, which is just another part of the room, and you're like, "Why do you keep doing this?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, the music was happening." Anyway, now that we're back.
And meanwhile, I have the software and the hardware. I'm just too lazy to learn.
I mean, hey, you could make the theme for the show.
I could. I could attempt. I've
You
been
should. You should
tempted every now and then.
do it. Why not? Give it a go.
I should do it.
Yes,
Fuck yeah.
do it. You have until this episode comes out
Oh, fuck. Shit.
to make a regular version and a Christmas version. Thank you. Good evening and good night. I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding. But hey, funny. We got time.
We do have time.
About a week.
Roughly.
Well, we've dated the time thing. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So.
Oops.
Sorry, I have COVID. That's been a fun development of the recent times. But yeah,
Yeah.
the first two episodes were recorded too long ago, and
Oh, yeah.
it took too long for this to come out into production. To consider that the first episode that never aired was recorded, and we were talking about doing 3 episodes and a Christmas episode, and then that wrapping up the year. That was
Mhm.
last year.
Yep.
But now the podcast exists, and we're having a lovely time.
Yay!
And
It's actually here.
we're sitting there, we're having a cool time. Don't mean to be too loud, a bit too excited. It's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
We're chatting away because you
Oops.
better be listening to this at night time. You're going to a comfort podcast. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about Christmas.
Mhm.
So we have 2 questions, as we always let the go of questions. First one is childhood Christmas memories. What have we got? What are we thinking? I'm going to chat over to you.
So like I brought up earlier before we were recording that
Yeah.
we grew up in a little bit of a recession.
It was a bit of a
So-
time.
It was a bit of a time. I couldn't really comprehend it that well because I was like 6 at the time. But like I understood that like okay, yeah, can't really do that much. So I don't know. Christmas was just kind of uneventful for me, I guess,
That's
in a nutshell.
yeah. Fuck, we were 6.
Yeah, we were.
I had
We
a
were
very,
babies.
I had a very not adult understanding of what was happening, but I just look
Yeah.
I definitely remember being like, oh, okay, so that's kind of what's happened. All right, cool.
Yeah, no, as a kid, it was kind of hard to avoid just hearing about anything really, or even if you did hear about anything, you kind of just you got that vibe from your parents and
Well,
like
my
all the
parents
adults
just would
around.
chat all the time, so they'd just
Oh
be
yeah.
chatting in the lounge room or the kitchen or whatever, and I'm also there because people are there, and
Yeah.
just hearing a lot of the conversations. Like
Mm.
it's a thing of like I remember hearing a lot of. I don't remember what was said because again it's fucking years ago, but like a lot of like financial conversations of like, like again the classic Christmas
Mm.
saying that we had, was like, hey, Christmas next year is probably going to be smaller, which was fair enough, but weirdly enough didn't happen for the longest time because my dad has an issue that I probably have as well, which is, oh, but I could just keep buying more,
Yeah.
you know? We're good with money, but like we're bad with Christmas. We're too easy to be like, oh, what if I just bought some more? I've had to actively stop myself a couple of times, but like, no,
Yeah,
don't have to do
same.
it. Don't have to do it at all. No, 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 no.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
think the whole money issue as kids definitely had some sort of influence on us as adults and how we approach like money and gift giving.
yeah, yeah, especially yeah. Look, I mean, especially
Like,
like I don't know. Oh God, I'm sorry if that happens. Again, I'm COVID sick. And I have a throat
yeah,
lozenge in my mouth to hopefully stop more coughing. Now,
yeah. Sorry if there's noise on my end as well, by the way. Hopefully it's comfy noise and not, oh my god, what the hell is that? Why is it happening again kind of noise.
the sweet comforts of Godzilla. Oh, he's got a Santa hat on. Chip chip
Oh, look
chiroo.
at you.
Oh, adorable. Oh, he
How
missed my
cute.
house. He does love me.
Oh, it's a Christmas
He hit
miracle.
my neighbors. He does love me. Um, yeah, but so like I do have some good Christmas memories. Like as much as the thing of like looking at money, being like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a. I still had a lot of good Christmases. Again, my dad couldn't
Mm.
stop himself. Um, do you have any like memorable gifts that you ever got as a child?
Ooh, oh boy. It's like my memories of all the way back then are so muddled together. It's kind of hard to remember if a Christmas gift was actually like a Christmas gift or a birthday gift or something I just begged my parents to get me one day. But I'm going to assume that this was a Christmas gift. But like at one point, we got a Wii for the household, and it was fun.
Hey,
It was
heck
like the
yeah.
first console I technically owned for myself that wasn't like a handheld, and it was really cool and fun.
Mm.
Most of the time, most of the gifts I got, they ended up being either like movies. I remember one time I got the third Madagascar movie for
Oh,
Christmas.
fun.
Yeah. But most of the time, like, I was fully aware of the money issues, like, of course, as we mentioned. So I tried not to ask for really big gifts. And even if I suggested something, I would always be like, but it's okay if you don't get it. And, like, I'm kind of still like that as an adult. But most of the time, I would ask for those little animal figurines, like the Schleich figurines, if
Mm.
anyone knows what those are.
No idea.
They would sell them at Mr. Toys like all the time. I'm not
Mm.
sure if they still do. They probably don't. But they're basically just like really nice like affordable good quality animal figurines and I've still got a bunch of them around.
I think I know the ones you're meaning actually. But they like little like
Yeah.
statuette, like not statuette, but like little like rock solid like figurine things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Sometimes you used to be able to get them at chemists back in the day. Yeah,
Yeah, they did sell those.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, now to go live to the field, we have Connor in the field. Yes, hi. I'm the Connor with Nordcover. We're here in the field at the Mr. Toys Toy World at the local one, the one that is redacted for safety reasons. Now, yes, they do have them still for sale. Yes.
Damn.
Thanks to Corey for helping me consistently be at Mr. Toys. Now, back to the studio. Okay, yeah, but, thank you. Thank you. All right. But
What are you
yeah.
consistently at Mr. Toys for?
Well, it used to be because Corey wanted to get a ribstick, but then he got a ribstick and it stopped really going. But like, I had to go recently when I did my Christmas run stuff.
Ah, yeah, that makes
But
sense.
yes, no, they still do sell those types of toys.
Fuck yeah.
Um, yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, those are really cool. As much as
Mm.
I say I was like pretty, like, it's a weird child brain. Well, I don't know if it's like in retrospect or not, or just weird child brain. I've been like, no, I understand the terms of this the recession a bit,
Yeah,
but
I
then
know
also
exactly what you mean.
there's a story that my parents have of me cutting out a bunch of things I wanted on a Christmas list because what we used to do as kids, and my parents are like, "Oh, you should do it nowadays," and I'm like, "Nah, it's difficult. There's no catalog wherever I'm wanting stuff from. There's no eBay
Mm.
catalog. Thank you very much of the stuff that I want specifically." But what we used to do is get all the catalogs in like the mail, and you'd cut out would cut out like the little things we want, and stick them on with like sticky tape, and then like write down the product and
Oh
the
my
product.
god, yeah.
We used to do that, and then eventually we were told to write the price there as well, because one year when I was very young, I made a $4,000 Christmas list.
Oh my god.
It was like 6 pages long.
What were you asking for?
Transformers.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
But just like figurines or just in general?
The small ones, the big ones, a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
I just remember that list having like a big bumblebee on the front.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was the thing where even as a kid, I was like, I like that I could tick things off my list, but I can understand why I don't get everything on the list.
Mm.
And that was the year that my parents were like, okay, we should set some more boundaries on this. That's a fucking expensive list.
That's so funny.
Holy shit. Yeah. No, it's
a $4,000
apparently, I don't know. I don't have the Christmas
list.
list still. Believe it or not, I do not have that Christmas list still. But I'll say my parents might.
Surprise.
Yeah, no, that was.
Yeah, I did the same thing, like not the exact same thing, but I just did the thing of like because Schleich, like they would do yearly catalogs that you could just get really cheap, and I would just circle all the ones I wanted. Except I didn't get them yearly. I just had the same one for like maybe 5 years, which probably became severely outdated very quickly. But I would still circle them.
You just recircle the one you haven't gotten. It's like, it's been 5 years.
I'd just be like, please, can I get the Pegasus? I just want the Pegasus. I don't know if I still have the Pegasus.
Did you ever get the Pegasus?
Ages back.
Oh,
I did, yeah.
Emma.
I had a Pegasus and a unicorn, and then, well, long story short, gender things happened.
We'll do an episode on it. Don't worry.
We'll do an episode on gender.
Yeah, we would. We would do an episode.
It'll happen.
It's on the list.
No, I purged a surprisingly large amount of my childhood things, but I've still held on to a lot of things, and I'm glad I've held on to as much as I could have.
Yeah.
Because nice time capsules.
That's good.
Yes.
Like, in regards to like the big Christmas gifts, like, because again, we never like the biggest gift we'd always ever get would be like maybe a bike or something, which every parent or person will know the fucking difficulty of assembling a bike on Christmas Eve at like 3 a.m. in the morning. Being like, we've wrapped all the gifts, I gotta assemble a bike. We wrapped all the gifts, I gotta assemble a bike. To which my dad is very excited. For me to go through the same suffering. And I'm like, no, you can watch me assemble a bike. I'll record it for you. You will be in agony because I don't know how to assemble a bike, but yeah. But like one day,
I'll along, but I'll just watch. I won't help.
One day, well, yeah. One day, yeah. Even if my dad was like to be in person, Dad would be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, I don't know where the gears go. I was like, what do you mean you don't know where the gears go? I'm like, I know what it looks like on the bike, but I don't know how to attach it. No, but like, that's just a little taste. If I ever end up having to assemble a bike, I will upload a video.
Nice.
You could quote me
Hell
to
yeah.
that. But like, another thing was, we got like at one point a table tennis table / foosball table.
That's
it wasn't a great quality one. It was tiny, but it was just it's not like a little, because you could also get those small ones that could fit in a desk, like a little tiny thing. Not one of those. Like it was one that it was big. It was made for kids, but it was still a big thing you could at the thing. I got one of those once, and that was really cool. And at one point, I don't know if we still have them. Probably not. We got like the slot cars.
The slot cars?
Like a slot car thing of like you'd put like a little car in like the little slot thing. You'd like hit the like electric accelerator thing and go and zoom around.
Is it like Hot Wheels or something
No. You know? Oh, did you ever? Because my uncle, one of my uncles, had like a big set of these. So when we go around to Christmas. I'll get to that. So do you know those? Do you know those cars, right? Like this car, it's got these little metal things on the bottom of it, and you'd hook it into like a bit of track, and then you'd hold up like the little go accelerator remote control thing. You press down the trigger, and it would go around.
I do not know these.
Fair enough. It's interesting because these things are everywhere in media type stuff.
Yeah. I didn't even have Hot Wheels or anything. I just didn't have stuff like that.
Yeah, no, fair. We should get you some Hot Wheels.
I'm not sure if I'm interested.
No, I don't know. I think you are.
I don't know.
Wet and I were walking through like a shops or something, and we saw they had like a bunch of Hot Wheels for like $1, and we're like,
Oh wow.
and we're like, if I had money, I would just buy too many of these. We were like, yeah. We're talking about it, being
Yeah,
like,
you would.
we've been like, yeah, no, because like we're like Corey likes Hot Wheels, so we should just get Corey a ton of Hot Wheels. Like, yeah, no, it's like I was like, man, if I had to spare $40, and then Wet was like, yeah, no, like if we had enough, not like spare money, but we'll look at it being like, this isn't used for bills or food or anything. We just have an extra $40 just here. Yeah, I could have bought it on other things, but I'm happy enough to spend it on 40 Hot Wheels. Like, I'm like, it's sad that we don't have enough money to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With time.
Yeah. When I get a new phone and a tattoo, maybe I'll have enough money. When
When I tattoo you.
well, that's a separate tattoo. I'm still waiting on that one though. I have the
I
spot
need to get
and
more
the type of tattoo.
tattoos.
You do need a, yeah.
God.
We do need money.
Yeah.
So if any of you lovely listeners, no, I'm not gonna ask for money. It's Christmas. Any other week, happy to, but no. It's Christmas.
It's
Spend it on
Christmas.
things. The only other things I had on my list of like childhood Christmas memories was one year my parents brought out a couple gifts to set out early to be like, ooh, Christmas is coming, and it's like, oh, and Child Brain I saw a box. It was weirdly shaped, and I could not work out for the life of me what it was. And like this was like set up, it was priced at like maybe around about like the 14th of December, or like it's like it's like midway through, and you're just sitting there being like, what is this? I couldn't work out for the life of me what it was. Eventually, Christmas Day was like, okay, you can open up your gifts. And like, I'm opening up this one. I'm so curious, and I open it up, and it's a toolbox. I couldn't even be mad. I was a child, so I wasn't
How
like.
old were you?
Probably like 12.
Oh my god.
It was just like a small one. I had like a little hammer, a little screwdriver,
Aww.
and stuff like that.
Actually, I would have loved to have that at 12.
And I'm looking at it being like, I'm not mad. I'm just baffled. This is not what I was expecting it to be. So like, oh, thank you. Oh,
An avocado.
thanks. The thing of like, I did end up using it quite a bit. And then for my 18th, I got like a proper toolbox, which is fun. Which I asked for. I was like, oh, I honestly a toolbox would be handy. That was the only thing I actually got for my 18th, apart from just a ton of money. I was like, here's some money and a toolbox, and I'm like, cool.
I literally don't remember my 18th at all.
Fair enough. That was a bit ago.
It was 3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
No, the money one I got was my 19th. Maybe it was a toolbox I got on my 19th.
I have like a few small things on the childhood Christmas memories. Like,
Yeah.
I was a big I was a little TV kid. I would just sit in front of the TV all the time.
I mean, so was I. That's why we get along so well.
It is, yes.
That and that
but,
we're both Aaron and Danny and Game Grumps.
We just are.
We just are.
We just are.
But
yeah, I mean, like, quite honestly, most of my, I guess, memorable Christmas experiences would be to watch Christmas specials, like, on the DVDs we had.
Oh, yeah, look, fair.
Yeah. Like, especially the Simpsons Christmas episodes, especially, like the Christmas episode. in
The
the
like
first
it's yeah,
season.
it's in the first episode they released in
Yeah,
1989, and then a couple months later they released the rest of season one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just like I don't know. I didn't experience Christmas like through any of that or like any of the Christmas specials I watched, but I watched them
No,
just a lot
fair.
of the
Like it's
time.
they're good episodes. I still really like the episode because we watched it I think 2 years in a row when I was doing
Mm,
my like, hey, I'm doing a hangout for Christmas. But this year I'm like, I got COVID. It's probably not safe.
yeah,
I'll be out of my quarantine, but I'm like, yeah, nah.
mm. Yeah. I
Um,
mean, like other than that, like my selection in Christmas movies was rather sparse. Uh, I had
yeah.
I had Santa Paws, Santa Buddies, and Snow Buddies. All three of those are Christmas movies. Only one, which is the Snow Buddies. Actually, two. Santa Buddies and Snow Buddies are part of like the spin-off series off of Air Bud, but it's just focused on the kids instead.
Yep.
I watched those a little too much. But like even more so than those, for some reason, I mentioned it to you before.
Yes, you
I
have.
just watched Deck the Halls a lot, and I don't know why, because I fucking hated the protagonist of that movie so much. I think I was just hate watching it actually.
I
I re-
kind of, because you've talked up so much hate for it. I see it on like Netflix, and I'm like, maybe I should give it a hate watch.
yeah.
Maybe I should be like, I'm gonna turn on a shitty Christmas movie. Because the thing is, okay, well,
It's not a good movie.
quickly before, what I was gonna say before, was like the Simpsons episode in which Bart like fucks up Christmas and like really just
Yes,
stealing.
yes,
That was the one I'm like, no, I really like that one still. And the one where he
yes.
fucks up
That's a
really bad
good
for the thing one.
episode.
I keep rewatching the one in which the episode in which like um the school gets shut down because they get in debt to the mob because Bart breaks his butt bone.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's right.
and so then the capitalism goes and takes over the school and then makes a toy.
Yeah,
I rewatched that one. I'm like, yeah, it's a good episode. I watch it every year because drilled in my head is the bit
yeah.
in which the kids are singing, and then Homer's coming in through the window and then trying to steal the gifts, and like the amount
Yeah.
like those
Oh,
songs
I
and the
love
duration
that.
for how they play is how those songs are stuck in my head. It's just like the joy to the
Fair.
world, the Lord is come. Wherever Caesar's greetings, peace out. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. And I like them singing Silent Night and looking at each other, being like, "Oh fuck!" And Homer's getting chased by the dog that's on his arm.
I love
Um,
like the screaming and the barking.
yeah. There's another thing with fuck. I think potentially used to have a Simpsons DVD. No, it wouldn't have been, but I saw them around. You could get where you could get just the Christmas episodes. If
Oh,
you
that'd be
remember
so
those
cool.
DVDs,
I've never seen those
they were a
before.
couple of rare. It was called like Christmas. It was like Simpsons classics, and it just had a bunch of like randomly set episodes. We had one of those. I think Kyron potentially had one as well.
Ooh.
Um, but I saw them around for a little bit. But then yeah, we Simpsons are harder to come by now. I should buy some. I have no
Yeah.
money. I have to remind myself. I'm like, I should buy something for me. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be a good idea. I have no money. It's $11. I don't have money. Ah,
Yeah.
not
I'm also
fun.
like that, where I'm like, I should buy this thing for me. You know, like I just fucking bought a DS Lite. I need to chill.
Yeah, but at
I
least
have
you have that
no money right now.
excuse. I'm just like, I just bought. Oh, oh, nothing.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I bought a
Fair.
keyboard, but like that was after months of saving.
Fair, yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, that's earned, but it's like, it's still money, and that's sad.
Hmm.
Um, no, but like, sorry, I just realized I was just tapping a hairbrush I have on the desk. I'm like, no, I'm recording. Oh goodness gracious me.
Just sound suppressing. It should
No,
maybe help.
I don't have to now. I
Hopefully
have
it's
a better
comforting.
mic. I'll maybe edit it out. Like that might be a thing I actually do edit. Um, no, look, hey, this is a comfy thing. We're just off the cuff saying some things.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, with the Christmas movies, you saying you had to select a few. Um, and what I was gonna add to that is like, yeah, because I was going through like Netflix and Stan and Disney and whatever the fuck, just to see what Christmas movies everyone had, so I could be like, okay, what movies do I want to watch? What Christmas movies do I want to try and watch? And I was looking at like whether it be like your real cheap like Love at Christmas or like A Christmas Night or I Shot Christmas with a Gun, and I feel really bad about it.
Isn't that just the one where like Santa dies or something? Where
There's-
he falls off a roof?
No.
What's that one called?
A Santa Claus. That's the
Yeah,
one.
that's right.
That's the one in which Tim Allen in the '90s. It's not a look. They're not good movies. I've tried to watch them. 2 years ago, I watched the first one. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of rubbish. And I'm like, do I want to watch more?
Good.
No. I say watch it once. That's it.
Just for the experience.
Oh yeah, and they're not the worst. They're just like, oh yeah. And then like last year, I watched the Santa Claus 2. I was like, wow. If you're gonna watch any of them, it's probably this one, because this one has the crazy Robo Santa, and that's fun. He accidentally makes fascism again. It's interesting.
God.
And that's the B plot. The A
Oh
plot
my
is
God.
Santa's gonna get a wife.
God.
And this year I watched the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause with Jack Frost. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since I was 10 years old.
Oh boy, I can only think of like the Legends of the Guardians, Jack Frost. Whenever I hear Jack Frost, honestly,
Well, fair enough.
I
It's
love that
like,
movie.
It's like I couldn't get into it.
I love it.
I watched it in
the
theaters.
version of Santa Claus in that movie. Love him. Love that movie so much.
Yeah, fair enough. There's some good bits in it. The books are weirder.
The books.
Well, it's based on a book series.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
but like the
hilarious
books are, one of those things like the books are better or something. It's like all I've heard is like I watched one video with chatting about Legends, Rise of the Guardians, and like, yeah, this book series is strange. I mean, some of the lore is in the movies, but honestly, the movie feels more sound with some of its decisions.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, given how that tooth fairy is interpreted, the book is a bit different, and it is bizarre from vague memory of that video. I should watch that again. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Christmas movies have this weird energy to them that you're like, wow, I kind of hate this.
Yeah.
There are some that are genuinely good and have a nice energy to them, but a lot of the ones are just scrolling through Netflix or something and like, oh no. Oh no. And look, I don't tend to like some of the more popular ones. I really dislike Love Actually.
Never seen it. I haven't seen a lot of Christmas movies.
That's
actually.
fair. I would love to introduce you to more, but I literally cannot be in the same room as you because of the COVID stuff. And for a bit anyway, because, well, I want to just be safe, especially around my friends.
Yeah, very sweet, very kind of you.
Yeah, no, but with
I
like
don't know, like the most recent Christmas movie I've seen was Klaus, and that was a few years ago.
yeah, that was 2019.
Yeah, that was 2019.
Well, no, technically, if you're talking about like Christmas movies you've seen as of recent, not as recent of coming out, but as recent of this time.
Both.
No, I showed you Christmas movies last year.
Which one were those? You have to remind me.
Home Alone 2 and A Muppet
I keep
Christmas
forgetting
Carol.
Oh yeah, that's right, Muppet Christmas Carol. I do keep forgetting that Home Alone is a Christmas movie for some reason.
Yeah, that is strange, but fair enough. I guess.
For me, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's just a kid that needs to protect the house and shenanigans. Christmas has nothing to do with it.
Which is funny because it's got everything to do with it.
It does, but it just doesn't click in my head for some reason.
Don't worry, we'll work out how. We'll open up that nugget of yours and click it in the place.
No.
Come
My brain
on.
is just jumbled.
Let me
pieces
touch
of
your
wooden
brain.
letters. No.
Let me click it in the place. Demo want nah.
My brain is a rock.
Yeah, let me
My
touch
brain,
it.
it's just a rock, and if you open it up, it's just nothing but gravel.
Yeah, I can move the ground. Well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe it's a good reason I'm not touching your rock brain.
Yes.
Put that on your Christmas card. Uh,
You already gave me my Christmas card.
what I meant that to the audience. I meant
No,
that.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, put it on your Christmas card. Happy holidays. Don't let me touch your rock brain. Or whatever I said prior to. It's fine.
They'll probably just think that they're calling them thick.
It's is it?
Maybe.
I don't
Like you got a
know.
thick skull.
No, because we're talking about the brain. We're talking about the squishy bit that's now suddenly rock.
It's an innovative new insult. It's like you've got a soft
Insult?
skull, but you've. Yeah. Saying I have a thick skull is an insult.
Okay, well, I knew that. I just thought what you were meaning of having a rock brain as an insult. And I was like, oh, no, a
It could
rock.
be an innovative new insult.
What? There's nothing wrong with saying you have a rock for a brain.
Oh yeah, it could be reclaimed.
Someone could be like, oh, pretty, and take your brain away.
Yeah.
The dream, you know? The dream.
Right?
We've gone on a couple of tangents this episode.
It really shouldn't remind me of the one Simpsons thing where Homer gets his brain stolen by Mr. Burns.
Oh,
Like
Treehouse of Horror, the third one. That would have been season 4.
That's right.
No,
yeah.
season. Yeah, it would have been season 4. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's pretty early on.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the season 4 Treehouse of Horror, which is the third Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah.
In which they put Homer's brain in a robot, and then they realize, no, it's still Homer's brain.
Yeah. That one freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it did me too. But that's
It probably
spooky stuff.
would've.
That's not Christmas.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of Christmas movies are quite rubbish. And it's weird,
yeah.
like, it's weird angle of like, yeah, and I'm like, I don't like the vibes you're putting down. There are some good ones. But quickly, because I had two more points in my childhood Christmas memories before we get to what makes Christmas, which is kind of what we've
Yes.
already started to touch on, which is the movies.
Yeah.
Is one of the things I always love getting for Christmas, and I would still love if it happened now, is Skylanders.
Oh yeah, the Skylanders.
I'd love, because the box is always so unique. So you'd be like, I know what gift that is. We'd always end up getting like
Yeah.
2 Skylanders, me and my brother each.
Mm,
Either like
nice.
one big one, or like one big one, one small one, or 2 small ones, or depending on the year, a new Skylanders game, and that would be a big thing, as a big shared gift that we'd have. That would be like the big gift of that year. And it was always fun. I loved getting Skylanders because of the way that the gifts were wrapped, and then always be like, oh, cool, a new character. It was genuinely, I was like trying to think of like Christmas memories of like, oh, that one. I loved getting Skylanders. It ruled. Same with the Infinity characters. That like type of box shape and getting a new character to play in that type of game. I prefer, like, Skylanders is probably the best example of it. Amiibos are like
fair.
neat, but like, yeah, no, it was. It's
Meanwhile,
same with like.
as a kid, I was like hate playing Skylanders.
Fair
'Cause, like,
enough. You were a
I-
Spyro fan.
I was a Spyro fan. I hated how Spyro looked in the Skylanders game, but I still got the figurines because I liked how the dragon characters looked. I just refused to play as Spyro.
Fair enough.
I had a very mixed relationship with that franchise.
Well, I had no attachment, so I was free to the wind.
Yeah. I also just like I hated the gimmick of the Toys to Life as a kid, I guess.
Yeah.
I was just like I don't want to pay to like play as more characters. Just make them unlockable. And I'm still like that.
That's fair. For me, it was a thing of I like collecting toys, but I also like video games and collecting video games. So I was having a pretty good time.
That's good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The figurines were pretty cool.
Yeah, and I liked the gimmick of putting them on the portal. That was neat, which was very overdone
fun.
in later different, like either copycats or later in that franchise. The other big thing was that every Boxing Day would go to like like my dad's side of the family would have like a big thing. Go over to some uncle or aunt's place or like some relative at like thing. Have the huge family turnout. It was always great. I always loved it. This year's sadly going to be different because last year, the great grandmother was the one like the big head of the family. She passed away, so
Yeah.
last year's one had a bit of a somber tone, but also say if like, oh, we're never doing this again, are we? Huh?
Mm,
Oh, that is really
that
sad.
sucks.
Um, because it was a thing of like, oh no, the family is arguing with the family over the funeral plans. That's
Oh
that's
no.
fair, but like it's also Christmas.
Yay, Christmas.
But yeah,
Woo.
we had a, but yeah, so it was a thing of like, ah, that's not happening again. My parents have already worked out like a plan of like what the next go-to thing is of doing a big family thing. Um, and I'm like, heck yeah, cool. I'm on board for it. We're gonna try and go to Melbourne to see my dad's family, the ones from Melbourne, my cousins.
Ah,
We're gonna go and do that every second year, and I'm like, yep, cool. I'm happy to do that.
nice.
Um, like genuinely, I'm like, no, no, that's good. That's good. I like that a
Hmm.
lot. Yeah.
Huh. I guess I never really like touched on what my family like does for Christmas, like specifically in the teen years, I guess.
Yeah, fair. We could go on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, cuz like when we got to the I guess when we got to the current house, but like anyway, it would kind of swap between two locations where we would have it.
Hmm.
Uh Half the time it would just be here and we'd invite our extended family from like just within the state, and the other half we would go all the way out west into like the into another town, and I'd hate driving there, and I still hate driving there because there's nothing to do out there, and the only shops that are open is a KFC, and they just eat KFC all the time.
Yeah.
But like when we would have like the Christmas event here, we would basically just sit around the tree, and I would be the designated Santa that would give out all the presents to everyone, and it's really nice and it's
Heck
really fun.
yes.
Yeah, we're not doing that this year though. They're going, as in like my family's going off to the west, and I'm not doing that because I don't feel like doing it this year.
Fair. So
Yeah, because
yeah.
especially like last time I drove us over there, I think that was a few years ago. The highway, it was just nothing but like kangaroo corpses, and I was like, I don't like doing this actually.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna skip next time. So at the moment, I have no plans.
Is that an exciting thing for you or just a hmm?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, especially
Um.
because we're gonna be getting the new dog before then, so I'll
Oh
just
heck
be hanging around the
yes.
dogs the whole time.
Hell yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I could have an episode of podcast I could actually recommend for your exact situation.
Oh yeah.
There's an episode of Bailey Family Circus in which they talked about like what to do if you don't, if like you're not hanging out with family or friends or anyone on Christmas. Um,
Mm,
so like yeah, I'll send that through because I'm like no,
fuck yeah,
I'm
please
like
do.
yeah, no, it's a good episode. I recommend that for everyone else. A podcast pretty good, and also like there's some fun like suggestions and things. But yeah, no, because yeah, like usually our Christmases would consist of like Christmas Day would get up really early because either kids or my parents are like no, no, it doesn't care if you're kids now, you're getting up early for consequence of your actions, and I'm like whatever.
I would always sleep in.
Mm,
I never got up early.
yeah, fair enough. No, I couldn't sleep every Christmas night
Mm.
because I was like, oh, too excited. All that child energy of like, I'm so excited.
Oh yeah. I would get
Um,
that too. I think I only had one Christmas where like I was so excited in the morning that like I went up to wake up my parents, but
hmm.
every other time I'd be really excited the night before and I would just be exhausted in the morning and just be like, please let me sleep for a bit longer. And that's still continued to this day, so
That Christmas tradition.
yay.
Yeah.
Christmas and 32-degree weather. Woo!
If you're lucky.
Yep. If you're lucky.
Um.
Especially this year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, enough weather small talk.
Enough of the thing. We got the second question. We're 42 minutes in. We probably should ask the second question.
Yeah.
Episode might be a bit long, but it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Shush.
Oh well.
Who cares?
Christmas treat.
What makes Christmas Christmas? That's the question for the second thing. We could go back to chatting about movies because I have a couple of movies I have listed down here.
Yeah.
So we got my 3 types of movies. So the first one's Arthur Christmas. I really like that movie. It's got a lovely message about like past, present, and future, and it doesn't matter what's right or wrong. It's just of hey, as long as the moral message of Christmas and like it doesn't matter how you do it, whether it be the sleigh or the whatever, like the ultra super tech thing. It's like as long as the idea of just gift giving and kindness prevails, that's what matters, and I think it's real neat. It used to be the movie I watched and that was an active decision I made. I was like 15. I'm like, no, I'm watching a movie every Christmas Eve. I want to do it. That's exciting. And I was doing that every year. And last year, I realized, oh no, I don't like it as much to have it as my number one.
Oh dear.
And I'm like, oh no, and I felt really guilty about that. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. Oh no, it's fine. Times have changed. Now my number one movie would be something closer to Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh yeah.
Which I do quite like. Do you know the plot of that one?
Nope.
Okay. It's one we should watch at some point. That might be nice.
Just assume I don't know the plot of a Christmas movie because I haven't seen most of them.
I know, and I do actually. I'm like, no, I should show you more. A person who watched Christmas movies with. That's lovely.
Aw, hell
but
yeah.
I won't have time between now and Christmas to sit in person.
Yeah, we can find time after Christmas.
That doesn't work for me with Christmas movies.
Mm,
You have from the 1st to like the 25th, maybe the 26th. That's it. I'm like, no. I'm like, that's the rules. That's the rules of Christmas movies. You know, I haven't watched that many this year anyway. No, I'm like, no, because it feels wrong otherwise. Because for me, a key part of Christmas is the magic of it. There's a genuine magic about Christmas, and you can get that from a lot of things. Again, for different people, it's different things. One of the things that I find quite magical is going for a drive around to look at all the Christmas lights that people put up.
Oh yeah, no, that is always really cool.
We always try to get like those. Like, we always drive up because it was never really like where we lived that did it.
Yeah.
At least did it on like the big degree. So we'd always drive out to where everyone else had driven out to, look at all the Christmas lights. We're like, wow, this is really cool. Because it was always something magical about it. But like people, some of them be like,
true.
People put up so much effort for this, and there is a lovely magic to it. I'm like, yeah, that's part of the magic. Same with
yes.
a thing that I've been doing the past couple of years, as you know, but the podcast might not be, is the Christmas run.
Yeah.
Which I've been doing since 2020, because that was the first year I had a job, and that was the year I was like, hey, things have been pretty shitty at the moment, and I care and I've learnt how much I really care about my friends, and that is a lot, a deeply amount. I knew I care about them before, but this is a year of like, no, they were really important to me. So I'm going to go around.
Same thing kind of happened with me.
And so I went around and I bought a bunch of Christmas gifts and I went and delivered them to my friends. Because originally the idea was, and this is funny because I don't know if you remember this, the original idea was to just have everyone in one place. Like I invite everyone over and I give them all gifts. But, well, I don't care about how much money I spend. Some people will be like, oh, you spent money on, like, that person a bit more than, like, me. Is that I'm like, no, the monetary value doesn't matter. I have money. I'm going to try my best to give it to people, but if I can't, well, look, I'm trying. I can't always give everyone the most, but, like, my bestest of friends will probably get a couple gifts. I'm like, more things. But Demo, you was chatting to you about the idea, being like, I'm not quite sure what to do. And I don't remember if it was a you idea or a me idea, so I'm just going to say we both came up with it, of the idea of me driving around and dropping stuff off to everyone's place. Yeah,
I do not remember who suggested that. Yeah.
but I remember that was in a conversation between us. So I was pitching you the idea, and I was like, and I'm like, and I was also saying I'm easy to buy for. Here's an example, and then you're like, I also want that. And I'm like, well, I guess you're easy to buy for too. So I just bought
I am
you.
very
I
easy to
bought
buy
you the
for.
complete series of the live action 2000 series of The Tick.
Yep.
Yeah, we still have. Neither of us have watched it.
We haven't.
But we
I
do
think
own
mine's
copies
still in its
each.
plastic wrap.
So is mine. Mine was a year later though, so a little bit more excuse. But yeah, so that's a thing I do every year, in which I hop in my car, grab as much press as I can, and drive around to as many places as I can. Obviously,
I was the elf this year.
yes, you were the elf this year. I bring an elf along with me because it
I
makes
was
me
the
feel
elf.
nicer. It makes the experience a lot more fun, and you get to hang out in the car and have a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. I really like it. This year was a fun thing in which, so I'm going to explain the gnome thing. Some people may know this, but earlier this year, I needed to buy a birthday present for my cousin, so I was going around to get birthday cards. But in the Kmart like discount pile, they had a bunch of all the Halloween decorations they couldn't get rid of, and so they had like this thing called a gnome witch, and it was $1. Now I might put up a picture of it. I aim to do so because this is a fun story. I bought and it was $1, and I'm like, okay, and I picked it up and I was like, I'll buy this for my roommate. And then I got home and I was like, hey Wet, here's a gift. And Wet was like, no, this is kind of good. And I'm like, no, it is kind of good actually. And so like, okay, I'm like, I'll go back and I'll try and buy some more. A couple days had passed. It was me, Corey, and Meep, and we went to go to the shops because they needed a cake thing so they could bake a cake, which didn't go well, but went well enough. It was still a good cake. But they were missing half the ingredients. Well, not half. I'm missing some key ingredients, which is very funny. But
Yeah.
so we went to the shops. I'm like, I'm gonna go and buy some gnomes first. So I went to go and buy some gnomes, and I looked at the price, and they dropped it to 10 cents. So I picked up literally every gnome they had.
Every single one.
Every single one of them. Every gnome they had, I bought all of them. And I went up to the counter to go and pay. And
so funny to
the
visualize.
self yeah, my arms are full. And the self-server counters, and there's the counters with like the people there. And it was a busy day. It was a Saturday, and then I was like, oh, and the person was like, oh, called over. Go to one of the counters with people. And I'm like, oh, great, I could give someone a story. And so I plopped all of them down and went, I want all of these, please. And they're like, oh, how many do you have? And I'm like, good question. And I proceeded to count. I had 14.
14.
And while they were racking it up, I was like, hey, what do you guys think if I paid for it in cash? They're like, don't pay for it in cash. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, how much is it? $1.50? And I'm like, I have $1.50 in coins. And so I paid for it in cash. And I bought it. And $1.50 for 14 gnomes and a bag. And I'm like, amazing.
Yeah.
So I bought that to the shop. Came back and I'm like, here's all the gnomes. And I'm like, what am I going to do with 14 gnomes? And I'm like, wait. Yeah. So I realized, I was like, oh shit. I could buy everyone a gnome. I have written the gnomes. I could give everyone a gnome. And then it was fun for Meep because they're like, oh no, I'm part of the Christmas run. And so everyone got a gnome. Which is lovely because everyone was happy with their gnomes.
Oh yeah, everyone loved it.
Yeah, Damo got a gnome, Corey got a gnome, Meep got a gnome, Karen everyone got a gnome. It was great. It was lovely.
The gnome is my doorstop now. It's actually a really good doorstop. I think it is meant to be a doorstop, actually.
I don't know what it's supposed to be except for a gnome witch, and it's the best thing.
It has like the same weightiness that a doorstop would have.
Yeah, well, look, it's the thing of like, it was great. Hush hush, but my parents are also gonna get they're also gonna get a gnome. It's gonna be fun.
That's right.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. They don't know it yet because that will happen on actual Christmas, which will be in a couple days. So that's exciting. But yeah, no, that was great, and also you had like, yeah, so that was a fun thing. The next thing I'm gonna segue into is Music also helps with the magic of Christmas.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Now, obviously, Christmas music is also a bit more complicated because, like, it depends on what, like, you like, what the thing. Because Christmas music has different types of Christmas music, which is
Mm.
the 40s and 50s. So it has, like, that classic sound.
Yeah.
80s, which is a smaller category, but you do get a couple songs in there, like Last Christmas. And then just whatever Michael Bublé or, like, whatever like artists that you have that you quite like Christmas music things from. I mean,
Yeah.
like the thing you know because you were there for the Christmas run, you got to hear the playlist.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite type of Christmas song, which is rare but it happens, and it's great, or Christmas cover or whatever, is a Christmas song in which they start to sing and have a good time, and that breaks out into a fight. So I have
Nice.
a couple examples of this one. Um, t- uh, one of them being who was the artist? You took the song as well. Um, who was it by? It's Toxic with three X's, and then Wilbur Soot.
Yeah.
They did a it's Baby It's Cold Outside cover, which does kind of dissolve a little bit into like them arguing a bit, being like, Wilbur, what are you doing? You gotta sing the song. It's fun.
Yeah.
The other two examples I have are two of the best song to parody, which is why I've done it on my channel multiple times, and you can tell I love it. The 12
Oh,
Days of
yeah.
Christmas. It is
Mm.
genuinely the best song to make into something else.
Yeah.
Now, one of the
It's like
Rooster Teeth,
Play-Doh.
one of the Rooster Teeth ads they did for like their merch thing at Christmas was a 12 Days of Christmas parody, which is good and also devolves into pure madness and chaos. So I really like it. It's real fun. And then the Sandicides one they did for that episode, um, in which they also did another 12 Days of Christmas, which is them bickering and arguing the whole time, and I love it so much. It's like, yes, good. I love a bickering Christmas song. It's the best thing. I don't know if you have anything to say on Christmas music.
Not really, no.
Um,
My exposure to Christmas music was whatever was playing at the shops, which was usually All I Want for Christmas Is You, which is why I'm part of the crowd that hates that song so much.
and I don't mind it. It's fine.
Yep.
It has a bit too much energy, which is why I prefer one of the covers.
It's
The
so
cover that
much.
Egg does. It's a lot of
It's
energy.
too much to hear every year.
Because what happened was it came out, everyone loved it, and then the next year happened, and then people were like, "Oh, I still kind of like this," and the year after that I was like, "I hate this," but then it
Yeah.
just kept. That would have been 2000. That was in the 2000s. It's 2022. It's still getting played everywhere.
It still gets played
So it's like,
all
yeah,
the time.
I don't hear it all the time though, so I can listen to it and be like, "Oh, this is kind of
Oh.
nice." I am the one person who can say this. There are probably a rare few other people. Please don't hate me for liking this song. That'd be stupid and mean, especially around Christmas. I just
Yeah.
think the lyrics can be neat, and it's why I prefer the Egg cover that Egg did.
Yes.
I
It's a
think it's really
fine
neat.
song, but for one, I've heard it way too many times to find it enjoyable, and two, it is like it's so much. The way it's performed is so much. I'm like, okay, this is a song I can only really hear 3 times at most to get the most enjoyment out of it, and I've heard it like 200 times at this point.
That song can cross over into the energy of those Christmas movies we hate. You know,
Yes.
like
It's like, this is too much.
it's too much and very capitalism. It's strange.
Yeah.
I didn't explain the plot of A Christmas Carol. Not A Christmas Carol. We know that one, but that's okay. Side tangent again. I am a big fan of the Christmas Carol story. Big fan of it. My favorite versions at the moment being a Muppet Christmas Carol, as of course, and a VHS Christmas Carol, which is the musical the Star Kids that Star Kid did.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 40 minutes. It's tight. It's very succinct. I really like. I think that one might be my favorite now, and I'm like, fucking damn it. But the thing is, in reality, my favorite's a combination of both. And like
My favorite, and it'll not be a surprise to you at all, but my favorite version
is a
of
Jim
that.
Carrey one from 2009.
No. It's the Blackadder Christmas special, which it's
Yeah.
just a switcheroo, which instead of like he gets taken to the past, present, and future to be shown how to do good, instead he's taken to the past, present, and future to shown how to be a dick again because his version of that is too kind to people, and he's Blackadder, so he's got to be a dick. I love it. I love that version a lot.
Yeah, like that. It's such a great premise. It's
It is.
genuinely amazing. I'm like, no. And that's the thing with a Christmas Carol is you can play with the premise, or you can just fiddle around. Like again, you can play with the premise pretty well. You can put Muppets in it, and it's one of the best versions.
The Muppets one is really good.
It's really good. And again, as everyone knows, but I say that, but not everyone will know. It's a thing of like because the whole thing of like Michael Caine went into it and he's like, hey, I'm going to play this like a Shakespeare production. I'm going to play this as straight as possible, like there are no Muppets.
Which is just the best thing he could
And
have
it
done.
really sells it.
Yeah.
It really sells a lot of it. And also just great things like Gonzo being Charles Dickens and being like, and I'm Charles Dickens. And I'm like, what? I'm Rizzo the
Hmm.
Rat. What's the, what? No, you're Gonzo. No, I'm Charles Dickens. Sure, Mr. Dickens. Sure.
So
And
good.
being like these weird, like fun side characters, there's a lot of good to be had in on that one. It's also like a bit of a it is it's a dark story. Like there's actively a
Hmm.
small child dying off screen.
Yeah.
Like it's a dark story, and it's good that it gets a lot of children adaptations or adaptations aimed at kids. There's a great
Yeah.
bit in
Like,
like in the Muppet Christmas Carol very early in where it's like, okay, let's begin. The Marleys were dead to begin with, and it's like, what? It's like, well, what? That's how it starts. The Marleys were dead to begin with. It's like, that's a lot.
yeah.
And obviously, as much as there's comedy in that one, when the two characters are like, oh, we're at Christmas Future. We'll see you at the end of the movie. We're not going to stick around for this bit, and so you just lose those two characters for the entirety of that section. And it's like, good, yeah, good. This is great. I love it. But a VHS Christmas Carol is done by Starkid, as who had did like the guys who didn't like musicals and Black Friday and a bunch of other stuff like The Oregon Trail and Jafar and Untold Story and a lot of stuff. They're very good,
Hmm.
and they do a pretty straight adaptation, like no real jokes or anything. It's just like no, we did a Christmas Carol done in the style of '80s music, like
Hmm.
but like done in very specific ways. It's like oh no, you really studied '80s music to then make this.
Hell yeah.
Like the Ghost of Christmas Past is like done as like a fitness ballad. Um, then we have like the song after that is a breakup song, like a full on proper '80s breakup song. Which like no, that's really good. There's a love ballad in there, which is genuinely amazing. Um, it's really and like it's got like a '80s pop song in the middle of that with Christmas Present, and it's really well done. There's a lot of great lines that are just like tweaks of like lines you'd hear in other adaptations, but it's like just as we
Hmm.
go, oh, that's a good one. Like when Scrooge like also extra points is that the guy he makes a lot of like the guy who plays Scrooge he makes a lot of faces which reminds me of Rick Moranis like the way he opens his mouth to like the side in a particular way. I'm like, yeah, good. You've
Nice.
I fucking love that guy. It's very good. I'm having a good time with this. Also very 80s. Um, but he says a line where he's like, where he's ghost like spirit, do you like to torture me? And the spirit just like kind of just looks up at him and goes like, I'm not here to comfort you.
Oh my
And I'm
god.
like, yes, good, good.
Damn.
As like she's showing him the time like his true love breaking away being like no you're really into your bank account and he's like oh I'm always into it I like money I'm yeah but like it's a really good line. I'm like oh fuck that's good. And also my favorite song, you wouldn't believe this, is the Ghost of Christmas Future song, which is really good because like it's Scrooge being scared shitless, being like, oh fuck. And then because most adaptations have it, and it's a good adaptation of Ghost of Christmas Future not speaking at all.
Oh yeah.
This one has an angelic wail. So it's like,
Oh.
oh, equally concerning and spooky.
Hmm.
There's a great bit where like he's like, where are we going? And then like the angelic like voice like this like the like that happens and he's just like, that was not helpful. Um, cool. But I really love it. I really like a lot of it. It's genuinely great, and I'm like, no, it's the best.
Hmm.
Big fan of that. Um, but that's it for my side of the Christmas music. The only thing I have on
Hmm.
my list to really talk about is Christmas specials.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything else on your list.
I guess like yeah, Christmas specials are sprinkled in there. I struggle to remember most of them apart from like just from cartoons I watch, like Simpsons, Futurama, stuff like that.
Yeah, I also rewatched the Futurama Xmas special,
Mm,
the second one they did, in which Bender
I do need
becomes
to watch those
Santa.
again.
It's pretty
Yes,
good. It's real good. It's
I love
fun.
those so much.
I really like the. It's weird that they relearned the same lesson again as they did in the first
Yeah,
episode. Like I'm like, no, we already learned this. All right, but it's a great premise of just being. It's the future. It's Xmas. It's lock your doors because
yeah,
Santa is deemed everyone as naughty and is a robot and is killing everyone. It is a very fun
dude.
premise.
I remember like the probably a couple years ago, maybe like when lockdown like
Mm.
nah, yeah in 2020 when I first rewatched those episodes after years and years. Those episodes, like especially the parts where they're like, "Oh, you gotta lock your doors." I got such like a big like sense of dread watching that. I was like, "Oh God, this is scary." And I never had that when I was a kid, but when I watched it in that moment, I was like, "Fucking, this is kind of scary. Actually, I'm having a good time, but I'm also scared."
No, look, fair. Oh.
Yeah,
Like
I'll have to watch
it's
them again.
they're good. They're fun. Um,
Mm.
Another thing, yeah, because the Christmas specials, because yeah, obviously you got the Simpsons ones, you got the TV specials, the Charlie Brown Christmas, that's always a classic. But the ones I have are mostly like I have one TV one, but I have to do like YouTube series stuff because I would
Oh yeah.
like YouTube videos and things. Obviously, we have the Thomas Sanders Christmas one I mentioned earlier with the song. I really like that one. It's again that series I find a lot of comfort in anyway. So like, yeah, that's good. Scott the Was, um, does some
Mm.
amazing Christmas specials. I love It's a
Yes,
Bargain Bin Christmas quite a bit, and
it's
it's
good.
been a bit since I've watched the You're Not an RPG Guy Christmas special, or the one from
Mm.
last year. It, all I remember is Rex Mose becoming Jesus or something to that effect. It's I quite enjoy I quite enjoy the Scott that was ones. Scott kind of gets it and he talks about it in his like audio commentaries of like that love of old Christmas specials.
Yeah.
And I like that love of that stuff. It's like, yeah, no, these are kind of really magic, and it's really cool. It's really fun. I like the idea of doing Christmas specials. Wait a minute,
Hmm.
that's what this is. It's a Christmas special.
Oh my
Whoa! I mean,
god.
like, I have like another thing I can add to that of like internet like Christmas specials is I've been forming up a playlist of all the podcasts that do like a lot of Christmas stuff,
Yeah.
like Christmas episodes. My favorite episode, you wouldn't believe this, of the plumbing the Death Star in which they do Christmas stuff, or any of their Christmas stuff they've ever done, is the how could you handle the 12 days of Christmas? Like who would have guessed?
Of
But like
course.
genuinely, that one's amazing. Have you listened to that one?
No, I haven't.
We will listen to that one. I've already listened
All
to it
right
once, but I'll
then.
listen to it again. I'm like, no, I'm happy to do that.
Sick.
I'm like,
I
no,
think your corner of the internet indulges in Christmas stuff a lot more than my corner of the internet does because, like, none of the YouTubers I watch, apart from Scott, actually do Christmas specials because they all take breaks for Christmas time. It's like, all right, it's December, I'm taking a break now. And I'm like, cool, you enjoy your break.
meanwhile, all my stuff is like, yep, it's January now. We're taking a break. And I'm like, yep, you do that. You've done good. Um, But yeah, some podcasts still do that. Like Thumb Cramps usually takes a break on Christmas, except for last year in which they did a Boner Cramp special, which was fun. Yeah, honestly, that's a funny episode. It's one of the better ones. It's very very funny. But
Nice.
no but yeah, the point of this their episodes, the Hey Idiot, How You Gonna Save Christmas, that's also a good one. But to shut up a second, I have to re-listen to them. I haven't quite listened to those Christmas ones yet, but like again, the Bailey Family Circus, they got some great Christmas stuff. But again, I genuinely love a good Christmas special. My favorite one ever, and it's probably my favorite piece of Christmas media ever, is the season 2 of Community, the episode, the stop motion episode, Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. I've definitely showed you before, in one of the Christmas events we did, probably the one from 2021. 2020. So I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you went to the 2021 actually.
I'm not sure.
And I probably would have shown it
happened to the
last year.
2021?
The 2021, I don't think I actually showed it because I don't think you were there for that one. 2021 one, it was just us. It was just you, me, and Tyra.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, because like everyone else was busy around that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta shake some memory into you. Like, I get it. I understand. I'm just like,
Give it to me. Give it to me.
you would be able to
What
shake.
else happened?
Um,
What happened in the thing?
in
the
that
community thing?
in the special.
Yeah.
So the whole episode is stop motion animation, right?
Uh-huh.
And Abed's like, huh, where's stop motion animation? Everyone's like, what? What do you mean? What do you want about? I think you've lost it. And so Abed's like, yeah, I'm having a good time, and he's jumping around. He's like, where's stop motion? Everyone's like, you've lost your mind. And so they bring in like uh John Oliver, who plays is it John Oliver? He does a lot of commentary stuff on actual television.
Probably John Oliver then.
Yeah, I think so. He's very good. His character, he's like he's like the philosophy, not the philosophy, like the psychology teacher or something, and he's like, okay, and he's trying to get like a book out of this situation, being like, this is psychosis in a very bizarre way. I'm gonna try and form this off for my own benefit, and so he sets Abed down, being like, okay, we're gonna actually like try and bring you back from this weird mental state. And he sits like the whole community table down, and then they go on a Christmas adventure because Abed's controlling the landscape of everything. It's one of those neat things where you get like a flashback to it in a different episode, and it's in live action because it's just them sitting around the table with their eyes closed. But within the episode story, it's them going to Winter Wonderland to go to meet Santa to find the meaning of Christmas. And so everyone's like a different type of toy. Jeff's a Jack in the Box. Pierce is a teddy bear.
Are you sure I was there for that?
I don't think so. I've been like, no, I don't. I don't think I showed you this one last year. I think last year, because I showed it the year before, I didn't show it again.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the images now and I'm like, I have no memory of this.
That's fair. I'll show it to you this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do it.
And you can comfort me when I cry over it. Because it means a lot to me. Because, again, as it would, because Abed is one of the 2 fictional characters in which I'm like, that's me on screen. Wait a minute.
Is that really going to be like my first proper exposure to Community now?
Yeah, potentially. We could watch a couple episodes if you'd like. Happy to do so. Oh, thanks, Damo.
Well,
yay.
I mean, I don't know what Community is about at all. I just hear you talk about it every now and then.
It's a couple people going to community college. They have a found family. It's a sitcom, but it's like one of the only ones I can handle because Dan Harmon's like, what if we made a sitcom, but it wasn't a sitcom? We played with the tropes. Same with The Simpsons. How it is a sitcom, but it plays with a lot of things. So it's like,
yeah,
it's like,
I have
a good
sitcom. Tolerance
sitcom
for sitcoms than you do.
Yeah,
I just do. I watched a lot of Big Bang Theory as a kid. That's like.
Oh, so did I. I watched all 7 seasons in one sitting.
That show is infamous now.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to watch that again ever.
I'm not sure if I do either.
Yeah, but like I also sat
I
through
just know I enjoyed
a
it.
bunch of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but I think that one's all right. I'm like, no, I want to rewatch.
I
That
do
might
want to
actually
watch
be
that
okay.
one. I want to watch that one so bad.
There's some
Actually, it
good
looks
bits in it.
fun.
Yeah, it haven't seen it in years, but I remember being like 14, being like, oh, I found the Foxtel channel it's on, and he didn't record, so I just tune in for every other episode that would just randomly rock up. I'm like, cool. Had a good
We
time with
didn't
it.
have Foxtel because why would we?
We had Foxtel because why? What? We shouldn't. But you know, we had Foxtel in my teen years. Because my dad wanted Foxtel, and then we all got Foxtel.
Yeah, I remember like the endless advertising for it, and I'm like, maybe we should get it. And my dad's like, no, we don't need it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It's too expensive. Don't buy it.
Yeah, that was probably the main reason. It was like, no, it's too expensive. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right then.
Yeah, no.
I am aware of the money issues.
Where this is just one of the things we factored into the everything else is too expensive. We cancelled it here and there, but we kept coming back.
Fair.
But and now I think my parents are like, well, it's just a handy resource. I'm like, yeah, no, fair, I get that. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna show you Arbe's Uncontrollable Christmas because that special, it very hits me home personally, and I highly recommend it to anyone else who can go and watch it. I'm pretty sure Community's still on Netflix and Stan.
I think I have seen it on Netflix every now and then.
Yeah, I own the seasons I like.
Nice.
I own seasons 1 to 3 and 5. So, you know, I'm like,
What
yeah.
happened to season 4?
Season 4 they fired the Dan Harmon. So it was just a weird thing in which one episode I kind of like, but like the rest of it's like it feels like it's trying too hard to be the show it's supposed to be.
Right, yeah.
And then I only watched up to about like the 5th episode in season 5 because at that point cast members of the show started to leave, so it's like, oh, yeah, we've lost it. I'm sorry. There's some good ones later on apparently, and I've seen all of it, but I'm like, yeah, it's not as fun anymore after Troy leaves.
Did it continue after season 5?
Yeah, it got
or
6.
Did it just stop?
Got 6 seasons, and it's gonna get a movie.
Okay.
The movie's been greenlit finally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, the whole joke was like 6 seasons in a movie, and they got 6 seasons, and they're getting a movie.
Fair. I like when filmmakers commit to stuff like that.
Well, it was a fucking difficult to commit to, but they fucking tried.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like it's a thing of like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I own season 1 to 3 and season 5, so it's good. I own physical copies of it. But no, yeah, I think. Do we have anything else to say? I have one more thing to say before we kind of wrap up this episode.
You go ahead, because I don't really have
Okay,
anything
the
else.
plot of Miracle on 34th Street. We never got around to it twice. So, here's your comedy goes in threes. Here's your third thing. So,
Yes,
the premise, so there's 2 versions of A Miracle on 34th Street. The 1947 original and the 1990s remake. Both are very good. Now, if you combine them, if you get the best elements of both of them and combine them together, you get the best Christmas movie ever made. But sadly, it's 2 pretty good ones instead. So it's like, it's fine, whatever. Now, the premise is, and I'm going to go mostly off the 90s one, the one I watch more often. Now, the premise is Santa's just around, he's hanging out, and he comes across like the Macy's Day Parade, and there's a very drunk Santa on the sleigh being like, I'm an asshole, and Santa's like, no, don't, come on, like, you're about to entertain kids, this is fucked. And so he eventually gets that guy fired, and then the person running is like, well, I need to get a new Santa for the thing. He's like, I'll do it. And they're like, cool, can you do it? He's like, yes. I was like, great, awesome. We'll get you to sign your papers and stuff afterwards because we do this at a hard. It's like, yep, sure can. But I'll do it only if I can wear my own suit. It's like, you have your own suit, don't worry about it, it's fine. They do the parade, everyone's like, yay. And then we meet this little girl, and that's her mom that we just met, the person who's like running the whole parade. And we learn, she told her kid that Santa's not real. Because she's like, well, you know, I'm not going to lie to my child. And And everyone's like, oh, come on, but there's some magic there. It's like, yeah, but I no. It feels like it feels like waste and distrustful and a lot of things. It's like, and that the guy who's kind of like who's works with the mom and wants to get with the mom, and like the mom wants to get with him. It's not like a one way thing, but they're both like, oh yeah, maybe. Um, and the kid likes the guy, being like, yeah, he's neat. But it's just like the guy's like, oh come on, we gotta take it like we gotta Christmas magic, and the mom's like, yeah, I make it. I make it in the store so we can sell more stuff. I don't want my kid to be introduced to that the same. Like, come on. Meanwhile, Santa does such a good job at the like, all right, what's your name? He's like, my name's Kris Kringle. It's like, cute. Okay. Do you want to be a mall Santa? And it's like, yeah, all right, cool. And so he becomes the mall Santa. He becomes the mall Santa for Coles. Which I'm pretty sure is spelt the same way as our supermarket. It's very strange, but apparently
it's a different thing though.
It's a different thing. He's not just like, the deli aisle is over there. Ho, ho, ho. You could go and get the snacks. They're too expensive. Because the thing that he does is like, it'll be like a kid being like, I want like a fire truck, and then like the mom's like, hey, the fire trucks here are really expensive. You could like dissuade him to anything cheaper, and he's like, and instead it's like, well, I mean, if you go over to like the rival shopping center, it's way cheaper. And the mom's like, wait, for real? It's like, yeah, no, if you go over there, it's a lot cheaper. It's like, thank you. That's actually really nice. I really appreciate that. And he goes over there, and then she's like, hey, your mall Santa just told us to go and shop elsewhere because it's cheaper. Thought I might let you know, because that's really good of him. And leaves, and then the people working there are like, fuck, shit. We gotta, like, we gotta go and, we gotta stop this, because we're losing customers. And so Santa keeps doing this, and like, as soon as they're about to like, hey, don't do that, they're like, wait, no, this is kind of weirdly bringing in more customers. And like, I'm able to buy that stuff over there, but like, I trust you guys a lot more for not being pieces of shit and being like, buy us here, buy the stuff here, even though it's more expensive. It's like no, like, and then their slogan becomes, hey, if we can't supply the best price, we'll point you in the direction of the best price. And so like they're like, yeah, no, and there's a lot of lovely scenes with the Santa doing this stuff. Like there's one girl. In the original, I think it's a different it's just a completely different language, and he's able to speak it. In the remake, again, this is patchy memory. I haven't seen it since last year, or maybe even the year before.
We should watch it.
Oh, we should.
We should.
So kind.
I'm curious about this movie now.
There's a lovely scene that genuinely, I'm like, no, I really love this. In which a girl walks up, and like he's like, oh, hello, and then like the dad's like, hey, she's deaf. She just wanted to see Santa, so, you know, like, if you could just spend time. And then he speaks sign language to her, and she speaks sign language back. And it's like, no, that's fucking lovely.
That's really sweet.
That's genuinely amazing. Every time I'm tearing up now, being like, that's fucking lovely. And I want to learn sign language.
I want to learn sign language as well.
It's like, no, genuinely, that's lovely. Anyway, we have the evil corporation next door being like, oh, I hate what they're doing. We're gonna find out who this crook really is. And then they're like, I'm gonna run through basically they go to try and because the premise takes a while to get to the genuine premise, which I won't spoil the ending of. It's amazing. I love it.
Yes,
and both films
do genuinely want to watch.
And
this.
both films have like a different like way they fix the solution. They have a solution to it. It's like, that's actually really interesting. But basically, they make Santa do something that leads him having to go to court. So then the big main, like, I'm only addressing like one half of this film. There's a whole other half with like the young girl and the parent, like with like the mom and like the other guy. Like, they're also doing stuff. It's just the Santa focus stuff. I'm like, no, this is like, it's again the whole half of the film we haven't talked about. But like, basically Santa has to go to court and they have to prove in a legal system that Santa Claus is real. and it's fucking amazing. In
Oh my
both
God.
movies, it's great.
Fuck yes.
It's genuinely amazing. Now, and for context, this is the real Santa Claus.
Mm.
So, it's so good. But that is my rendition of The Miracle at 34th Street, a bit, but not quite all of it.
Mm.
So, on that note, I think we should wrap up this.
We should. That seems like a good note to wrap up on.
Wrap up this lovely Christmas special. Thank you everyone for listening. I really appreciate that this podcast is now existing and is having episodes. Yes. I'm really excited that people are actually really happy about it and are finding some form of comfort in it.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
It is. It's really exciting, and I hope to make many, many more episodes with you, Damo. But on that note,
that's very sweet.
I mean, you're the best co-host I could have.
Stop it! No.
No, but it is true because you're the only person who's willing to stick around for long enough to make a podcast with. Yeah.
I just like hanging out with you.
Oh, I like hanging out with you too. Oh, it's pretty good.
Oh, look at us all being mushy.
Oh, it's so squishy.
Oh. Squishy?
Yeah, mushy, squishy.
Those are two different things.
I'm imagining very literal.
Oh my god. Yeah, we should wrap it up.
Yes.
This has been good.
Now we will. Good night, audience. Good night.
Yes. Good night.
Enjoy your sleep. Enjoy your slumber. Now remember, you have to go to bed. It's a night podcast, but Santa's gotta get you some gifts. So you gotta get the sleep. You gotta be a good individual. Shh. You might get a Skylander or something. Shh. Hush, hush, hush. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Be kind.
Be kind, be loving, be caring. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes.
Yes, good night. We love you. Good night. Enjoy your slumber.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your slumber.
Goodbye. I stopped recording.
Merry Christmas to each and every one. Okay, I'm going to stop it.